Alright, so I've said it before, I don't comment on every single thing I see because now, and I'm really proud of some people because back in the day, I felt it was my place, the need to comment on articles and on social media and everything to get a point across. And not many people had the points that I had or the perspective that I had. Back in the day, there wasn't much. So if you had more knowledge on a subject that wasn't in the mainstream media and you go, oh, under an article, what about this thing? Did you mention this thing? What about this politician that paid this to make this happen, or something along those lines? Nobody knew what you were talking about. And it was my hope at the time that they would see my comment and go, oh, what is that person talking about? And then go and have a look for themselves. Nowadays, you don't really have to. There's always someone else that has a relatively similar point of view that will write it instead. So sometimes I just don't make commentary on things. And then some days, something just gets me. And I've tried to stay away from this because you know how it is. You kick this beehive and then all the crazies on a bunch of drugs that make them crazy come after you and, so you just don't bother. But this is a woman, Riley Gaines, who is decorated, who is award-winning, who was speaking about having to share a locker room with someone that was biologically still male and having to see their bits and everything, and then those people that are still male competing in a female category with them. She's coming under fire and getting a lot of people. She's getting the uni treatment, basically. She goes to a university campus and psychos descend on her and make it impossible for her to appear or make it dangerous. Words should never garner a physical response. You can't take it. I mean, what the hell? Your parents didn't teach you sticks and stones. What the hell is your problem? And also, if you need to silence the other side of a debate, that means you lack the education and you lack the intellect to rebut what they're saying or to add something to the discussion. If you disagree with someone, there needs to be a discussion. We all share this world. You can't have it your way. So, what is this horrible human being saying that is making people storm campuses and commit acts of deprivation of liberty which are prosecutable to stop her speaking or to genuinely make sure that she has a horrible time if she visits anywhere? Just that? Her lived experience? Grow up. And I don't know, I can't help but think those that disagree with that, you're the type that's never competed in anything. And I don't think anybody cares at, say, the primary school level or something like that. But as you get to the more intense categories and where it means something, where it's Olympic levels, where it's state levels, things of that nature, there is a huge difference. And it needs to be dealt with properly. Now, if you want to mix the sexes in, say, an esports competition or a chess game or something like that, then yeah, by all means, do whatever you want. But I'm telling you right now, yes, there are physical differences and men will wipe the floor with you. You can be the most tip-top shape you've ever been in your entire life. You can dedicate years and years to your sport. You can get up at 6 a.m. every morning and just work out for 4 hours straight and eat and go home and come back. And your coach could be the best in the world. You could be watching your diet. You could be dedicating your entire life to your sport. And some man will walk in and just flatten you. And I know this to be true because I've seen it and it's happened to me. I've trained towards things. I've trained for years in disciplines and stuff, only to have someone that's, say, a 20-something-year-old male come in and within, 3-4 weeks, he's better than me. Better technique, better everything, because they're just genetically blessed to do more physical stuff. It is what it is. That's why we have different categories. You're in categories that reach to the extent of what you are capable of and what your body is capable of, being that gender and that size and everything and that weight. There is an advantage, particularly if that person has gone through male puberty first. They've had this shot of testosterone for years upon years. They've got their bones grown to a size that will blow us out of the water. It just is what it is. It's science and it's physics. And to deny that side is the side that looks deranged. And if you look crazy and like you can't be reasoned with, then people aren't going to try. And so that's where you're coming up against this thing where I think at this point, possibly the people that are advocating for men and women to compete, biological men and women to compete in the same categories, the people that are advocating for that, one, don't know what it's like. They've never actually competed. And two, I think that they've pushed it so far that the ridiculousness has garnered them a lot of animosity now. Situations like this is why. If you come across like you can't be reasoned with, then people are going to think, oh, you're like an animal. There's no point talking to you. And even people that disagree with the stance of these people have given them a platform, have given them the respect of listening to them and what they describe as their life. And yet it doesn't seem to come back the other way. So eventually, I'm thinking it's just a natural progression of things. Eventually, people are just going to give up on you guys too. And I really hate how they call it activists. You're not a freaking activist. You're a bored teenager or a bored 20-something that wants to feel like they're making a difference in the world because they have nothing to do that with besides their rage. And we're all born with rage and emotions and everything. You're not different. You're not special. Get a life. Get a hobby. Get something you're good at. Oh, I know. Why don't you go compete in something? So, I think there's a lot of different things going on here. So there, obviously, as I've made a video about it before, there are psychos in your ranks. So flush them out. You will, with every movement you get, you will have clingers on that just want to be part of something because they're missing something in their life. And also they want to feel they're doing something. They want to be a part of something. They're craving that mob mentality. They're craving that, the instruction of something. They're craving a purpose, basically. And you will get these people that will be gung-ho on everything. And then you'll get some people that were probably paid to be there, or that are faking it for something, or infiltrated by glowy, or, you know, that is possible. I mean, I don't know if it's in this circumstance, but I'm just saying that is possible. Oftentimes, you'll find out big movements, big protests will have a few glowies in there. Or the equivalent of whatever they call them in Australia, whatever. You'll also get those that just want to come and see what's happening because they've heard through the grapevine about the evils of this certain person. Oh, I can't remember who it was, but I remember that someone was doing, you know, a man on the street kind of interview on a campus, and it was someone that was getting protested. It was a male. I can't remember whether it was Ben Shapiro or one of those guys. And I remember it was an interview saying, oh, you've come here from interstate to protest today. What are we protesting? And the kid was like, oh, this guy, he's really hateful and he's a racist and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then the person asking is like, oh, what has he said? Have you read? Oh, I actually haven't read, but I've heard that, you know, it's kind of that kind of stuff. If someone doesn't have knowledge on a subject, they can get rolled up into just leading with their emotions. And so you'll find that that's sometimes part of the mob that does the action of whatever these people are doing. And I will say, though, that to read that this woman was punched by a man in a dress, you jealous, bro? You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? What a stupid thing to do. Your movement is going to suffer because of that. And then, you know, I've said it before, you've got psychos in your ranks. Does this person speak for you? Are you happy that they did that to a woman? If you are, there's a lot more, again, than gender dysphoria going on here. Maybe you've got some mental issue that you need to sort out. And if you don't agree with that, why don't you just stay home? You know, a lot of people are like chanting, fuck you, go home, go home. No, why don't you go home? Why don't you just let people speak to the people that they want to? Why don't you just shut the up and go home? Or better yet, honestly, better yet, do your own rally, do your own speech at the campus, put up some scientific facts on why you think your side is the side that's more correct and whether they should be competing in a physical sport with the opposite sex, gender, whatever the term is that you guys want to use. Because acting like a mob of idiots is not going to win you any favours. And at the end of the day, you're just going to provoke a response from either the side that you're protesting or the police or something to treat you with more disrespect. And I don't have to, and I don't care, but I'll say it anyway. My stance on this stuff is do whatever you like. Do whatever you like with your own body. I don't care. You go girl, you go boy, whatever, you go non-binary person. Do whatever you want. We're all cool with that. It's not a big part of your personality to me. So if I meet you and we've got something in common, cool. I don't care if you're black, white, green. I don't care if you've got 3 dicks coming out of your face. Oh, maybe I do care if you've got 3 dicks coming out of your face. It's kind of weird. But you need to be extending the tolerance that you expect from others, and you need to be seated in reality. There's biology, there's physics, there's learned experience, there's lived experience, there's history. all of these things that make up what we're currently living, and nobody actually has to pay into your delusion. So if you truly heart of hearts believe that a physically grown man has the same body composition as a female, that's okay. You can have that opinion. It doesn't actually fit with reality. And people like this lady, Riley Gaines, have a right to call it out because it has directly affected her. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Do whatever you want. I am about respecting others, letting them speak, and words not garnering a violent physical reaction, because that's what toddlers do. That's what they do when they can't get their way. They throw things, they break things, they scream and they cry. And you're coming across like a pack of idiots. Don't want to be one of those people that's asking you to sub and like, but if you feel like commenting or liking, that would help me out. It'll give me the power to do more of these episodes.